decentraLIVE.
Welcome back to the decentraLIVE studio. We're here once again to make sure that you stay on top of the latest and greatest in crypto and blockchain. I'm Tracy Traxler.
I'm Owen McCall. Big show as usual. We're talking about a lot of stuff, guys. We're going through, blockchain voting in North America is happening there. We've got a lot of things happening with Tron and Justin Sun. We've got, comments on Bitcoin's energy consumption. A lot going on, Trace. But first, as usual, let's get into the crypto markets. Here we go. Here are the top 5 cryptocurrencies and their 7-day movement. First up, Bitcoin seeing a 3.88% move over the week in the green, currently sitting at $10,134 US. Next up, Ethereum following suit almost exactly on par, 3.75% up for the week, current valuation $223.50. Next up, XRP just about 2% upwards momentum this week, sitting at, about 30 cents US, 32 cents rather. Litecoin then following suit up 3.15% for the week, just under that $95 mark. And finally, Bitcoin Cash up 3.5% for the week, currently sitting at $307.50 US. Time now to take a closer look at the markets. We've got our man Phillip Linan in studio. Phil, let us know what we're looking at here.
Thank you, Owen. We're going to kick it right off once again with the king of crypto, Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Last time we pointed out as well, Bitcoin found its local top here at about 14,000 US dollars, more or less around the end of June. And since then, Bitcoin USD has had a very nice, clear three-wave structure to the downside, finding a local bottom at around 9,000 US dollars, which was also a previous consolidation area right around here as well. Since finding that local bottom at around 9,000 US dollars, right about here, Bitcoin has had a very nice 5-wave structure to the upside, reaching nearly 11,000 US dollars. Now, 11,000 US dollars, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very key reversal area. So if we look a little bit over here, you'll notice that during the 3-wave structure to the downside, this key area has acted as support, and now it is currently acting as resistance. Since finding that local top at 11,000 US dollars, BTC USD has had a very slow descending move to the downside here, but that descending channel has been slightly broken, which could favor the bulls, but ultimately, if the bulls really want to gain control again of the market, we're going to want to see price break above 11,000 US dollars first. And of course, the market favors the bears if that previous support area at 9,000 US dollars is broken as well. So, with that said, we're going to move right on to the next cryptocurrency, Ethereum versus the US dollar as well, finding its local top as well at nearly $360 the end of June. The corrective structure for Ethereum US dollar has not been as clear as Bitcoin US dollar, as overall, as you can see, Ethereum USD is still in a slow descending wedge to the downside. Now, it has found some slight support, but overall, it is also finding resistance at a key reversal area at about 230 US dollars. Now, interestingly enough, this key reversal area, or currently resistance, has also been the case all the way in September and October of last year. So it would be very crucial for the bulls for this key level to be broken and perhaps even retested. But all looks fair and well for the bears as long as price remains in this descending wedge to the downside, and of course, if the local support is broken as well. Moving on to our final cryptocurrency for the day, Litecoin US dollar. Very, very nice push to the upside all the way up here, finding its local top also, once again, more or less around the end of June. And since finding that local top, Litecoin USD has made significant and very clear lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, signifying a clear downtrend. Now, it is very steep, this current downtrend, and this is something that we've seen before in the past as well with Litecoin. As for example here, very clear push to the upside, very clear steep correction to the downside. So the odds are still in favor of the bears until this downtrend is broken. And of course, if that local support is broken as well, then even better for the bears. Until then, bulls, keep an eye out. That's all from my end. Owen, back to you guys.
Thank you, Phil. So great. That guy's really got his finger on the pulse there.
Indeed. Now, I do have to ask, though, bull or bear, where do you stand?
Well, I know you can't see it out there, and it's probably close from here as well. A little bit difficult to see, but I've actually just got my nose pierced. I'm ready for that bull ring, baby. Bring it on. Fully torqued. Okay, here we go. Now into today's top stories. Well, 3 or 4 months ago, we covered a story in which a crypto entrepreneur named Michael Terpin had his phone hacked and had about $24 million US, that's right, $24 million US worth of cryptocurrency that was stored on the device promptly stolen. And this wasn't your run-of-the-mill smash and grab. No, what happened reportedly was that thieves targeted an AT&T store in a shopping center and proceeded to impersonate Terpin so convincingly that a store clerk authorized a SIM card swap, which gave control over Terpin's phone number to the criminals. Once control of the number was established, the thieves then proceeded to recover accounts and change passwords to apps on the phone, effectively locking Terpin out of his own device. The stored crypto assets were then transferred to various wallets, and Terpin was left out in the cold. Now, following the attack, Terpin quickly launched a lawsuit against AT&T, demanding compensation for the stolen funds, again about 24 million USD. He further slapped a $200 million on top of that claim, citing violations of the Federal Communications Act, breach of contract, so on and so on. So total compensation sought here is about $224 million US. So the case has reached a court in California, and motion to dismiss the case, which was brought by AT&T, has been shut down by sitting judge. AT&T had tried to get the case thrown out, claiming that they were not liable for the theft, but Judge Otis Wright II wasn't having any of it and refused to do so. He stated that the company, quote, can be held to answer a lawsuit for Michael Terpin for enabling the theft of 24 million of his cryptocurrency by giving his SIM card to hackers. Now, the complaint itself alleges that the theft of Terpin's crypto is a direct result of, quote, AT&T's willing cooperation with the hacker, gross negligence, violation of its statutory duties, and failure to adhere to its commitments in its privacy policy. It goes on to further explain that what AT&T did was like a hotel giving a thief with a fake ID, a room key, and a key to the room safe to steal jewelry in the safe from the rightful owner. Now, interestingly, Terpin won a civil suit against the actual thief, one Nicholas Truglia, to the tune of $75 million back in May. If he hits here again against AT&T, this hack could be the best dang thing that ever happened to this guy. What do you think, Trace?
I mean, okay, granted, looking at Terpin now, I feel like all it takes to impersonate him is what, like a cheap pair of 99-cent store sunglasses and maybe some well-used carpet? I kid,
Savage.
of course.
I mean, he's going for the early 2000s Justin Timberlake look, that ramen noodle haircut, man.
Exactly.
I don't hate it.
No, of course. I definitely don't think AT&T should be getting off scot-free here.
No, absolutely not.
All right,
Absolutely not.
well,
They're giving too much power to the, pimple-ridden kid behind the counter at the AT&T store in the mall.
Probably not their most motivated employees, I would guess. All right, well, from fake identities to fake news. That's right, the New York Times is reportedly looking to utilize the Hyperledger Fabric permission blockchain to guarantee the provenance of digital files as part of its news provenance project. Now, for the uninitiated, the project serves as a concerted effort by the Times to combat misinformation on the internet, with the ultimate goal of building an industry-wide solution for media publishers. According to the project's website, the Times is specifically exploring the use of a blockchain-based system for the recording and sharing of media metadata that is published by news organizations, with a particular focus on images and video. The first phase of the project is already underway and is set to run through the end of the year. Now, the Times have chosen to develop their proof of concept in collaboration with IBM Garage, who has executed similar projects in other industries. In response to questions as to why the project was looking to implement a blockchain-powered solution, the Times issued a powerful statement in support of distributed ledger technology. Quote, all hype aside, blockchain offers mechanisms for sharing information between entities in ways we think are essential for establishing and maintaining provenance of digital files, end quote. The Times is now actively looking for blockchain talent to join the project. The criteria, well, potential team members should be forward-looking leaders that are eager to fight misinformation online.
Blockchain fights fake news. If that's not a headline, I don't know what is.
No small task to take on, I would say.
Absolutely. And what about against these deep fake videos? Have you seen these things online? Terrifying.
It's impressive.
My name is Mark Zuckerberg. Your data is safe with us. Right?
Resemblance is uncanny.
Okay, another application of blockchain here. Moving on to Utah County, Utah, who recently moved to position itself as the third U.S. jurisdiction to date to embrace a blockchain-based voting system in elections. The project will reportedly allow a pilot group consisting of active military members and overseas registered voters to cast their ballots for local Utah County elections on a mobile app. Now, earlier this year, Denver, Colorado launched a similar program, and late last year, West Virginia allowed active military to cast blockchain-powered votes for federal election primaries. All three examples have relied on a company called Voatz. That's V-O-A-T-Z or Z for my Canadian brethren out there. Next up, blockchain taken to the skies, specifically Bitcoin. Now, we've heard that Bitcoin will go to the moon, Trace, but what about the stratosphere? That's where planes go, I think, right?
I would say so, at least some of them.
Let's hope so. Well, if that's exactly the case, then maybe it's a good first step on its way to the eventual trip to our nearest celestial neighbor. The majority owner of Scandinavian airline Norwegian, known by travelers worldwide as the carrier that somehow fits a layover in Iceland into every trip, released last Tuesday plans to not only accept Bitcoin as payment for flights, but to launch its own crypto exchange and create a blockchain-fueled customer rewards program. Here's how it's going to go down. First step, the launch of crypto exchange, Norwegian Block Exchange, or NBX. This is slated to happen by the end of August this year. Next up will be the creation of a payment system which will enable customers to use cryptocurrency to purchase flights and other products offered on a digital marketplace. Finally, the customer rewards program will be integrated to work seamlessly with the exchange and marketplace. All things considered, people, Norwegian looking pretty bullish on the crypto front. And how did they get there? What fueled this crypto pivot, you ask? Well, it turns out the son of the owner dropped about $500,000 into Bitcoin, and either he needed somewhere to spend it or the dad wanted to get on board. What do you think?
Well, that'll do it.
That'll
if
do
you're
it.
personally invested, that's all it takes.
Good advice. Exactly.
All right, well, switching gears from airlines to energy consumption. On July 23rd, the International Energy Agency released a new report that takes a deep dive into Bitcoin's energy consumption. In its introduction, the report explains that concerns over the energy use of cryptocurrencies has been on the rise since the beginning of the year, citing rising Bitcoin prices and the announcement of Facebook's Libra project as key reasons for the surge in interest regarding Bitcoin's carbon footprint. So, what's the damage? Well, according to Kamiya's findings, Bitcoin mining is likely responsible for 10 to 20 megatons of carbon dioxide per year. This equates to 0.03 to 0.06% of global energy-related CO2 emissions overall. Now, what's more, it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. In fact, the report also found that during the first half of 2019 alone, Bitcoin mining has consumed 29 terawatt hours of energy. This is already higher than Ireland's annual energy consumption, which rests at roughly 26 terawatt hours. Now, it is important to put these numbers into context, however. While Bitcoin may have trumped the energy consumption of countries like Ireland, Sri Lanka, and Jordan, Bitcoin still consumes less energy than electric vehicles, which amounted to roughly 58 terawatt hours in 2018. The report also points out that Bitcoin mining hotspots are typically concentrated in renewable-rich states and provinces. In fact, the text found that roughly 76% of the energy consumed by Bitcoin is renewable. It's at this point in the text that Kamiya, the author of the text, fact-checks some media reports from 2018 that condemned Bitcoin's supposedly tremendous CO2 contribution, having found serious issues with the methodologies and underlying assumptions that fueled these reports, particularly with regards to Bitcoin adoption rates, the efficiency of mining hardware, and the assumed electricity mix. To demonstrate his point, Kamiya points out that while 60 to 70% of Bitcoin mining currently occurs in China, where more than 2/3 of electricity is generated by coal, an overwhelming majority of Bitcoin mining facilities are located in remote areas of China with rich hydro or wind resources. As a matter of fact, about 80% of Chinese Bitcoin mining occurs in hydro-rich Sichuan province. And that trend holds true even beyond the borders of China. Electricity generation in other key Bitcoin mining centers is also dominated by renewables. At the very top of the list are places like Iceland, Quebec, British Columbia, Norway, and Georgia.
Okay, so basically there's a lot of hype going around with the CO2 footprint here. I mean, it turns out a lot of renewables are being used. And I mean, the big claim that it's more than Ireland. I mean, besides keeping the lights on at the local pub, what else is Ireland using energy for?
Growing potatoes.
Just kidding. Kind of, sort of. Anyways, moving on. Justin Sun, polarizing crypto personality and CEO of Tron, as well as hopeful Warren Buffett lunch date counterparty in the news this week for not one, but two major debacles. Hint, one of them has to do with hemorrhoids or kidney stones or something like that. Anyways, in a baffling move, Justin Sun pulls out or at least postpones his highly publicized lunch date. He paid $5 million for it, with multi-billionaire and old rich white guy archetype Warren Buffett, reportedly due to a medical issue, kidney stones, I think. Can we call them sunspots? I'm doing it. Anyway, the official Tron account posted about the postponement on Twitter this past Monday, explaining that the original lunch date, which was set for tomorrow, would have to be pushed back. Now, it gets a little weird here, as on the same day, Justin offered up an invitation to a bigwig over at Huobi Exchange to attend the lunch. A little weird, but it can be explained away pretty easily. Maybe a miscommunication at the doctor's office or something. But then it really gets strange. Put on your tinfoil hats, people, because we've got a conspiracy alert. Reports coming out saying that this whole sunspots, kidney stones issue is simply a convenient guise to cover for damning allegations out of China, which would stop Justin from leaving the country altogether, making his meeting with Buffett strictly impossible from a logistics standpoint. Now, on Wednesday, an article from the Chinese media 21st Century Business Herald claimed that Sun and the Tron project were being investigated by the Chinese authorities for illegal fundraising, money laundering, and the facilitation of gambling and pornography-related transactions. Now, Justin quickly dismissed these allegations, particularly the whole not allowed to leave the Chinese territory claim. He did this on Twitter in a pretty convincing way, posting pictures and even a video of himself in San Francisco. Well, whatever the truth is, we know for a fact is that the whole debacle caused the price of Tron to drop like a brick overnight, almost 20%. At the end of the day, it was about 15% down overnight. However, the silver lining here, though, even if the lunch with Buffett doesn't actually materialize and, Justin Sun is stuck in mainland China, at least the charity that put on the whole event, they've confirmed they have received the $5 million, so at least something good comes out of it. Silver lining.
I'd say that's all that matters in the end, right?
Absolutely.
All right, now, before we head off, I do have to ask, Owen, so how's John McAfee doing?
Big news, people. John McAfee, held by the CIA, the FBI, I don't even know. Who else? The Twitter, Facebook? Who's getting in on the action here? Anybody with a gun, it seems. Anyways, if you check on Twitter on this guy, it turns out, he was held for 4 days or something in isolation. Now he's back. Someone else was behind his Twitter account for a while. Things are happening, things are moving, and I recommend checking it out for your daily, a little bit of spice to your life. John McAfee on Twitter.
So in short, love affair continues.
Yeah, I guess. What can I say?
All right. Well, in the meantime, what's not continuing?
What?
This show.
Oh!
That's right. We're ending the show here today, but please do make sure to stay on top and up to date with everything that we're doing behind the scenes.
Absolutely. We're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Telegram as well. I think we're on there too. Ready to have a conversation, let you know a little behind the scenes action, and keep you updated with what's happening in blockchain and crypto. We'll be back again soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.